Hi, I'm Captain Coppin with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report.
Over here, just north of the Highlines, we've been catching some good redfish in this flat right here. What I've been targeting is finding those big schools of mullet. They've either been holding in on the edge when the tide's kind of low. When the tide comes up just a little bit, they kind of venture out into the flat a little bit. But basically, I'm just throwing cut mullet into this flat, finding those good scattered sand pockets in here, targeting those, keeping up in here when that wind's blowing good. Those are the typically the better days that we do on those calmer days. If you want to put on a soft plastic or a fluke, you can sight fish some of these, and there's some good upper slot fish in here for those tournament fishermen looking for those 8-pounders. There's some good ones in here. Just come in here, use your trolling motor, or just drift or try to pole in here, because there are a ton of fish in here and tons of bait. Over here in the canals, we've been seeing lots of good black drum on the surface. So after I'm done with those redfish, or sometimes vice versa, I'll come into these canals and look for them in here. You're starting to see them on the surface. Just throw shrimp on a jig head, break the tail off and just throw them in here upwind of the fish, and just kind of let it drift into the school, and those fish will just get it. Black drum don't have very good eyesight, which is why it's always so hard to catch them on an artificial. But if you come in here, put a piece of shrimp on a jig head, and just throw it upwind of the school, you will get some of those good eating black drum. Over here around Starvation, we've been getting good numbers of reds, a few black drum, but really the redfish is what I've been targeting on. Just getting cut bait, cut mullet, cut skipjack in here. Coming in here later in the day once the wind picks up. The nice thing is the wind hasn't been too strong in the early morning, so I can get over here fast and kind of settle up in here, catch a few fish, and then once that wind starts cranking, I'll just find a spot on the shoreline, throw that cut bait out, and just sit back and relax, put a rod in the rod holder, and just let those redfish come through all up in here. You'll see the bait. You come in here, you put the trolling motor down, you'll see all the mullet in here. Just be careful coming in here on this outside edge. There are a lot of rocks. They're from this bar right here in, there's not too many rocks, but out here around the bar there's a bunch of rocks out here. So just be careful as you're coming in. Once you get in up tight to the shore, you don't have to worry about rocks too much, and just let that cut bait soak, and change that bait out about every 10 minutes, and you'll catch plenty of redfish. Over here on the tide gauge bar, we've had a lot of wind this week, so one of the things that a lot of guys are doing, keep from getting beat up, is go on the inside of the tide gauge, park your boat, and then walk out here on the outside of the bar and throw back towards the bar, catching both redfish and drum up on the bar, catching an occasional trout out deeper. Those top waters are working early, but also we're catching fish on soft plastics along here, a few flounder getting brought in. But really just catching those reds up on top of the bar. And the way to do it is really just get out of the boat and wade fish down the bar. Otherwise, you got to come over here in the rough water. Just let the waves hit you in the back. That's kind of the way to do it. Park your boat, walk across the bar, and you'll get a lot of good opportunities to move up and down the bar and catch those fish as they move through.
I'm Captain Coppin. Thanks for watching.